All right. Hello, everyone. So good to see so many of you guys on, and thank you for taking the time. Be proud of yourself for taking the time. That means that you're serious about this, that you really want to make progress on your nutrition, and really making time for it and being intentional is the biggest and most important part of it. So thank you for being on live. Those of you who are watching the recording, no judgment, of course. I'm proud of you for watching the recording too, right? So again, thanks for the time. I would love to just start us quick with a word of prayer, if everyone's all right with that. Dear God, I want to pray over this group of women, over this call tonight, and over the next 3 weeks. God, only you know our relationship with food and our past and our struggles. And I know for a lot of us, it's not the best, and it can cause a lot of emotions, a lot of hurt, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. And God, I know that first and foremost, you want us all to know that we're loved no matter what. And I pray that truth is always first and foremost. But I also know that you want us to be free. You want us to be free of the guilt and the shame. You want us to be free of this constant battle and the weight, whether it be physical or just mental and emotional, the weight that this struggle can have in us on a daily basis. And so, God, I pray over this time. I pray that you show up with us in these struggles. That I pray that so often I know we go to food for things that you want us to go to you for. And so, God, I pray that becomes a habit for us, that we go to you, Lord, and that you show up, that you show us in small and big ways, changes that we can make, that we should make, and you make that clear to us, Lord, so that we can start making those steps to start repairing this relationship that we have with food. And I pray that this group, again, knows that they're loved and not judged by you or by anyone else. And so, God, I just pray again over all of us that again, you show up, that we feel loved, and that you help us make progress in this. Amen. All right, now I'm sweating. Oh, I don't like praying in front of people. All right. So again, welcome. Most of you guys know me. I'm Caitlin Vanderscaff. I'm the leader of Team Redeemed. A lot of the coaches on my team are also on this call, and I also want to just give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. First, I live in Minneapolis, a south suburb of it. I have 2 kids, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, kindergarten and preschool. And I went through the whole thing of food. Terrible relationship for a long time, a lot of overeating, over drinking, emotions, stress. And then, was introduced to these programs, and it really changed everything. And I'll get more into that with my relationship with Portion Fix a little bit later in the call. But just know that from my perspective, I've done like these kind of eating programs in every stage of life. So I just want you guys to know that right away, because I know sometimes it can feel overwhelming and unsustainable at the beginning, but just know that it gets easier with time, I promise. So I've done it, traveling internationally, working full time, breastfeeding, pregnant, all the things. So I promise you it does work. And they're wonderful, but you just kind of have to lean in and learn them. Okay, so next I don't know who wants to introduce themselves next. Sally, I know I saw you on, if you want to unmute yourself and just introduce yourself quickly, where you're from. I know you have some women in here too. So again, these are just my coaches that are going to introduce themselves. Otherwise we'd be here all night.
Yes, hi, I'm Sally Hawkinson, coach on Caitlin's team. I also live in Minnesota. I live in a small town called Laconia. We are west of the metro area, not quite a suburb. Still, we're still a small town for now. We haven't gotten swallowed up yet. I have 3 kids. Gavin's 10, Graham is 6, and Gemma's 3. My relationship with food has been a lot about control, and it has gone both ways as far as too much, too little, and it's always connected to everything else feels out of control, and it's the one thing that I have power over, and I've been through some pretty unhealthy stages in both directions. And I've primarily used 2B mindset. I think I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later, and supplement a little bit with portion fix. And yeah, been a game changer.
Mhm. All right, April, do you want to unmute yourself and go next?
Yeah, so similar to Caitlin, it's crazy to think it's 4 years ago, September, that I started with these programs and nutrition programs and such. And I think similar to everybody here, I've had, a lot of ups and downs with nutrition, but really for me, I am also somebody that mostly follows Ultimate Portion Fix, much like Caitlin. And then I do a little bit of the 2B mindset principles as well. But I think the biggest thing for me is that it's really, through all of this, I've really learned a healthy balance for me. So in the beginning, I had to be a lot more disciplined, and I started, with a weight loss goal, and then it became so much more than that for me. Now I care very little about what the scale says, and it's more about the mental and physical overall health. But in the beginning, I needed to be more strict, and then learning how I can mentally be okay with living a little bit more on the side of sustainable. So, for example, when I share today, I had chocolate covered almonds with my lunch and I had a couple Oreos with my dinner. Like, I feel no guilt for those decisions. And I think for me, why I'm so passionate about all of it is really, again, just the mental aspect of finding that balance that works well for you, and know that that's going to be different for everybody. Like, it's going to be totally different for everybody, and it's going to be totally different at different stages of your journey. I'm also, you see, where this is our guest bedroom, used to be a workout room. We have a 3-month-old in the middle of a basement renovation. Those are clothes that aren't folded. Like, just in seasons of life too, it's always going to be very different. Yeah, so it'll be fun. It's fun to see already what everybody's sharing, and I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Abby, I see you. You want to share quick?
Sure. I'm Abby DeZeo, and I live in Northwest Iowa. I'm married. We have 4 kids, 17, 15, 12, and 11. So when I'm not working there, my full-time job as well, running after them. And, for my whole adult life, I can exercise with the best of them. I can run a bunch of miles, but as I get older, it's harder to outrun my diet. So I'm constantly working on that. Mainly have followed Portion Fix, but I would like to learn more about 2B mindset. I haven't really dug into that.
Yeah. And Tessa, I know you're under the weather, but can you just at least say hi?
Hi. I sound terrible because I've been sick for a while, but finally feeling a little bit better this afternoon. So I'm Tessa, and I'm a coach under Caitlin. I am married and I have 3 kids. Parker is almost 9, Grayson's almost 6, and Adeline, who you saw me holding before, is 3. I have done mostly the container system, and I had amazing results with that when I first started. But I was super dedicated and I stuck to it, and I lost around 30 pounds in about 3 months. And I held on to it, kept it off until I got pregnant with my 3rd. And then I've just struggled getting back to it. But I've always struggled with eating, knowing when to stop, or knowing what's healthy to eat. I'm from Minnesota. I'm farther west even than Sally is. So, in an even smaller town. But, so eating good was eating at home and eating your tater tot hot dish, your home cooked meals, which aren't actually good for you. Which I learned quite quickly in, who knew, tater tot hot dish, not good. But
How many tater tots can you fit in their yellow container?
not enough.
Not enough.
But doing the container system, I really learned on what foods I should eat and how much of what foods I should eat. And I actually learned I could eat a lot more than I thought, but it just of the right foods. So, that's just been eye-opening. And, I just want everybody else to know that this, you know, it works. It's not a diet. It's just, you know, it changes how you think about food. And, you know, obviously there's all sorts of seasons in life where you know, aren't following it as well, and that's okay. But you know, you've learned this stuff and it's always in the back of your mind and you can always get back to it.
Yeah, so good, so good. So next I just wanted to, I guess, lay out kind of what you can expect when you plug into the Facebook group. That is primarily where we're all going to be sharing posts. And as I already prefaced it, and most of you I'm sure already saw it, every single day we are going to ask you to share your food. Each post, and really as a team, as we were talking about this call, and as we were figuring out what we wanted to share, it was very evident that that more than anything, we wanted to work and help you with your mindset, because our programs do an amazing job of showing you the how and the what, as Tessa talked about, you know, what foods and how much and when. And later on, we'll be going a little bit more into those programs just so you know where to find those resources. But as a team, we wanted to share our posts mostly on the mindset, because it's one thing to know what you're supposed to do, and it's another thing to do it. And as you probably heard in my prayer, a lot of my why is spiritual. I really feel like that he's convicted me in that, that so much of my past was because I was looking for food for things that I was supposed to be looking to him to. So that has helped me a lot. But more than that too, another big part of this group as we share the post will be meal plans and resources. We have so many resources. It's like a good and a bad thing. As a team of coaches, we have entire archives of years of meal plans and grocery lists. So we'll of course be again sharing those just so everyone is aware, because I know it can be hard to remember and know how to access everything. But that's another reason why it's so important for all of us to actually share our food, because those are the tried and true recipes, right? Of ones that we actually use. So those will be great ones that will, so make sure not just to share, but also look through the comments, of course, cheer each other on. But that's a great way to look for more ideas too. And also by sharing your food, I cannot tell you how much it will help you be more self-aware and accountable. I know I've been running these groups for 5 years. I know the temptation to start strong and to share, and then the second things start to get busy or hard, or you're not doing as well as you want to do, the gut instinct is going to be to stop. The gut instinct will be to stop plugging in and to stop sharing. And please promise yourself, because you're only doing yourself a disservice, promise yourself that on the last day of week 3, that you will still have shared your food. Because I promise you, if you just show up, it's just like your workouts. If you just show up, you will make progress. You will. Some days will feel like you fell on your face, but if you keep showing up, that's where the progress happens, right? So don't give up on yourself. That's really what I just want to reiterate, because no one is hopeless. There is grace for every new day, and none of us are perfect or ever will be. And there is just so much to say about consistency of showing up and trying, and just giving yourself that freedom and that grace to try again the next day. So again, in this group, every day we'll be sharing a post as a team of coaches, and on that new post, you can take your pictures throughout the day and just share all of your food pictures at once, because I know, trying to go into the group multiple times a day, it takes time, right? So I totally understand if you just want to take all your pictures during the day and then just post them all at once, or you can do it. Look to the group to help you focus in the middle of the day if you're having really bad temptations. That's always a good time to check in and see, okay, I can see what other people are eating, and that will help encourage me. So use the group however it's helpful to you. But please just promise yourself that you'll just keep showing up. Promise it'll help. All right, so aside from that, and I was gonna say too, I mentioned it in at least one post, but I know my posts get long, just like my talking. So I'll say it again, that so every week I'll pick one person at random that's been commenting on the post with their food, and I'll send a package of probably a book, some tools, some samples, a package, a prize package. So there is something in it too. Of course, I want you to do it for yourself, but I'm willing to throw out some gifts too, just to kind of help you on your journey too. So that's what you can expect out of this group on Facebook. And then next, so what I know what happens with these groups. So as you'll hear, most of our posts are going to be menus, recipes, mindset, both in spiritual, emotional. That's kind of where our guidance is going to be. We're going to rely on you guys, especially because we have people from all different areas of your journey and different experiences with the program. So we have people who've gone through, you know, the entire Ultimate Portion Fix and 2B Mindset, and, you know, people of all sorts. So we're not going to be like in the group saying, you need to watch this video. We're not going to be doing that. We're going to be assuming that you guys are taking that responsibility to watch the videos of the program that you choose. So right now, I know it can be overwhelming and not even know where to start. So I'm going to actually show you, attempt to screen share and show you where to find these nutrition resources. And we're actually going to walk through together. They're just like 4 minutes a piece, 2 or 4 minutes a piece, the introduction videos that explain both the 2B Mindset and the Ultimate Portion Fix. And while we're watching these videos, if you already are experienced with this, please type in the chat which program you are going to follow for the next 3 weeks and why. And so as you're watching it, kind of look at the chat too. And so if you're new to this, be watching the videos, be watching the chat. And by the end of the videos, say which, I know you'll never know for sure, you have access to both, but just say in the chat, because I want you to commit to which program you're going to dig into over the next 3 weeks. Okay, so first let me attempt to screen share. I want to close it. There we go. Okay, can you guys see that the Beachbody On Demand screen? Yes, no? Yes, okay, so that thumbs up from Liz. Okay, so I'll start at the beginning. So first you're gonna have to log in, which I don't know if you can see, but it's in the top right-hand corner, right? And once you log in, then you wanna click on nutrition. And I think I'm already there, but it'll refresh it again. And then once you get to nutrition, there is, oh, did it sign me out? I guess I'll find out. Okay, here we go. Okay, so getting started, I was right there. Okay, we're gonna first start the introduction to 2B Mindset. So just watch it. And again, if you're experienced with these, write in the chat, whether the 2B Mindset or Portion Fix, which one you're digging into and why. And if you're new, just watch and think through which one you think would be the best fit for you.
Can anyone else hear it? I can't hear it.
I can't hear it either. I was wondering the same.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
you
can't
can't?
either.
Shoot. I wonder
My
how
computer is
I can,
like 8 years old, so I was like, oh, maybe.
I wonder how I can do that. Okay, well, I wonder if I'm, did that work or not? No? Shoot. Okay, well, what if I'm doing something wrong? And
Is your computer volume up?
Yeah.
Caitlin, because I'm trying to remember too from teaching what I had to do, but like if you play it loud enough, then your speaker will pick it up. But that's
I'll try it.
found
I
out a
just
little
turned it.
trick.
I turned it way higher. So Tammy, I can see you in my screen. So can you give me a thumbs up or down?
Sure. Sorry, didn't do it.
It's so loud. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna wake up my kids.
There's some trick and I can't remember what it is now. It's been a while since I taught on Zoom.
Shoot.
Uh,
I'm sure it's something that I'm supposed to. Advanced sharing options.
This is
No.
Sarah. I joined really late, but the time I've seen this work the best is usually the presenter just shares the link and then waits for however long the video is and has everybody watch it and then comes back.
Oh, hey, that's a good idea. I'll put it in the chat. That's a great idea. Because these really are short, but I think it's like the power in doing it now versus procrastinating it. Because
Yeah.
I put the pro in procrastinator. I'm going to use that term all the time because I think it's so true. Now I have to figure out stop sharing. There we go. All right. So once you're signed in, you should be able to click on those and then watch. I'll show you again I'll screen share again and just show you, circle the videos. Watch both the 4-minute one and the 2-minute one. I'll start again. My bad. All right. So Sally, do you want to share about the 2B mindset quickly? About why you love it
Yeah.
and what kind of personalities typically like it?
Yes. So, so I'm not type A. I actually don't really like following rules. If somebody gives me a rule, it makes me not want to do it. I'm not proud of that. It's not very effective, but that's my personality. I would prefer to go with the flow. I'm very emotional. I'm also very internal. And that's another, I feel, one of the biggest ways to explain the differences between these two programs is that Ultimate Portion Fix gives you an external system that's very solid and reliable, and it will work if you do it. If you can't do it and you don't want to do it, you likely have something internal going on. And 2B mindset allows you to go internally. And sometimes that's emotional, but sometimes that's also physical. And one of the things that when you track for 2B mindset, you're not just tracking to say, did I have a good day or a bad day? You're tracking to say, what did I choose to put into my body today? And how did that affect my body? Did I lose weight? Did I gain weight? Did I maintain weight? And you can also track your mindset and your emotional state, your energy level, and you can look at how your food and how just the choices you're making during your day are impacting everything overall. And so I find that very helpful with 2B mindset. And even when I have tried like using the containers, like one thing I will say is that 2B mindset is also geared towards what Alana calls volume eaters. So you don't want someone to tell you you don't want someone to limit your portions, that you can have food in certain ratios. So you know the food groups and you look at your plate and you can say, my plate is 25%, 25%, 50%, different food groups, but there can be as much food. I mean, I will take those portion containers and use them as measuring cups. And it honestly works. Like if you take, like for a plate, if you do like a green container for your veggies and you do a yellow container for what Alana calls your FFCs, and then a red container for your protein, it's a plate. It's a To Be Mindset plate it, but then you also have these containers. So even if you like those, you can still use your To Be Mindset tracker, even if you're using the containers. If that helps you plan your food and so you don't have to think about that, you can still write it down when you eat it, and then there's all these other things that you can track too. If you want to do that reflective piece, and I know like Abby mentioned, I mean, you get into certain age groups as a woman and all of a sudden you're like, what is my body doing? Or whether it's your hormones, during your cycle or after you have a baby or while you're pregnant, and you're like, my body isn't doing what it usually does. And so I like the reflective piece of To Be Mindset, where you can track your weight every day and look at it and say, okay, what is happening? The other thing, sometimes you'll notice what's making you gain weight, but the other nice thing is when she says, what does she say about a treat? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
Not a cheat, it's a treat.
Oh, treat, not cheat. That's what it yeah, she says treat, not cheat. You also realize when you have those almonds with your meal or you have those Oreos, and then the next day the scale doesn't go up. And then you're like, oh, well, I don't have to be perfect. Like I did all of this to take care of myself. And then I slipped this little thing in here and I'm not cheating. I'm being a human being and I didn't gain 5 pounds unless you do. And then you're like, ooh, I have to stop. So yeah, I mean, one of the things with To Be Mindset is she does ask you to get on the scale every day. And it's interesting. There's some science behind it. There's some psychology behind it. And she explains it. Some people really struggle with that. That is something that is critical for me. I have to step on the scale every day because otherwise I ignore what I'm doing to myself. And I don't think about it. I have to step on the scale every day to just keep myself in check. And I've really learned from To Be Mindset that like I check every day, but it's just a number. And it's just me saying, where am I? Where do I want to be? What choices am I going to make to get there? Like it's up to me. Nobody's telling me I have to do this or I have to follow these rules. I'm saying this is the weight I want to be, or this is the energy level I want to be. And that is my motivation to say I'm going to choose to eat this way.
So good. So good. Thank you, Sally, for sharing that. All right. And so then next, I'm going to just show you quickly where to find the resources to continue learning about the program that you chose. Hopefully, again, you've now kind of you can't go wrong. Just pick one and start digging into it. And then, so I'll show you where to dig into it. Because again, in the group, in the Facebook group, we're going to keep those posts more about mindset, more about recipes, more about tools that no matter what program you're using, you can use. And again, as you take pictures of your food, everyone's in different stages. But I do want during these 3 weeks, we're going to check in with you and ask you where you're at in your learning about the program. Because I really think these programs give you the structure, because honestly, who was it that was talking about how you had Tessa was talking about how she had no idea how to eat healthy. I was the same way. Like even when I thought I knew what healthy was, most of the time I wasn't eating enough nutritious foods to actually feel full. So then I would like binge on crap at night, and this is before Beachbody. So I just want to reiterate to you, I think sometimes we think we know what healthy foods are and how much our body needs, but just trust these professionals and just try it, learn about it, and you'll be astounded at how good you really can feel. A lot of us say that too, like we didn't realize how good we could feel until we started these programs. All right, so going back to here, again, sign in, nutrition, and then here you can actually pick right away. Oh crap, I didn't screen share, sorry. I'm just gonna pretend that you guys can watch. Share sound. Okay, can you see it now? Katie, I can see you on my video. Yes, okay, great. So again, nutrition, and we'll just go with Portion Fix because I want to also mention those of you that have done Portion Fix in the past, it might service you to go through the videos again because they redid them all. In the last couple months, they've redone all of the videos, largely because they wanted to make them more simple and faster for people to get through. So here, and each one, again, nutrition, and then you pick either To Be Mindset or Portion Fix. And again, I picked Portion Fix. And then you just go into lessons, and each one has a different lesson, and they're short. I understand we're all busy. I get it. But I just want to reiterate that it's something that if you invest the time in, I promise you it will come back to you tenfold. A lot of us don't have time to just sit. And when we do, we don't want to be watching this, right? Like we want to be watching Netflix or something. So if you're like me, I watch and listen to things like this when I'm doing dishes, when I'm folding laundry, when I'm driving, like when I'm doing other stuff. So look for those pockets of time where you're doing mindless things, and then just push play on one of these videos, and it'll be amazing how many you can get through that way. Don't wait for, to have an hour of nothing and want to do this. So yeah, you'll just play on these videos. And the nice thing about the way that they redid the Ultimate Portion Fix is they made it into like, now all you have to do is watch these first like 6 videos, and then you'll have enough of the knowledge to actually start applying it and using it, versus before it was you had to go through lots more to start. So you really only have like 5 or 6 videos to watch, and then you'll be able to start applying it. And then you can kind of dig more into other things as you go through. That's why they call it Rail 1, Fast Track to Fix, and then you'll be good to go. And To Be Mindset has that too. Like the first few videos, every video you'll learn a concept, and then you'll be able to apply it and make progress, right? So, and then also just wanted to point out too, that both sections, both To Be Mindset and Ultimate Portion Fix, have a section called Program Materials. And some of these are like worksheets and stuff, but just notice that, oh, I thought they had it in here. Maybe they moved it to Be Mindset membership. Here we go. They have eating plans. A lot of them have like sample meal plans and stuff. So just things to look at just for ideas, tally sheets if you don't have them. But I would always look through the program materials too, because you'll never know. There's some, like for instance, she mentioned Kids Fix and Eating the Rainbow. This one I'm going to point out to you in one of the on the posts of the day, 75 healthy lunch ideas for kids. I need to print that out for my daughter again. Already sick of making lunches. Anyway, so there, it's a gold mine in here of resources, but throughout the 3 weeks, we'll definitely be highlighting some of our favorite ones. All right. There we go. Okay, so I hope I haven't just thoroughly overwhelmed you all. But I really just wanted to, and oh yeah, Carrie just said she's excited to watch the videos. I do want to say that watching those videos, they do a really good job. I mean, it's not just dry. They really try to not just share the what and the how, but also the why. They get into like sugar addictions and like what we typically eat in a way that is very eye-opening and helps you kind of dig into your why too, and want you to learn more. So I hope they're as powerful for you as they have been for so many of us. And again, I hope all of you have chose one now. But that's really, does anyone have questions? I want to at least open it up for questions. Man, I'm under an hour. That never happens. Does anyone have questions at all? Anything? All right. Well, thank you guys all for committing to this group, for committing to yourself to make progress, to dig in. Again, just promise yourself tonight that in 3 weeks on that Sunday that you will have done yourself the service of sharing your food and have checked into the group, and shared with us. Really, I want you guys to just think about where you are now with your habits. Maybe even write it down. Where are your habits, how you feel, and then 3 weeks from now, let's reassess. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited to hear the stories. These are always a powerful process for everyone. So thank you again for showing up tonight and for checking in. Let's do this. All right. Have a good night, guys.